Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep into a topic that I think really defines modern bridal elegance.
Mm-hmm.
The perfectly chic, minimalist wedding gown.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone planning, a non-traditional look for 2026, or even just trying to understand why some clean dresses cost more than others, this deep dive is your structural cheat sheet.
And we've noticed there is a huge amount of confusion around two silhouettes that at first glance can seem identical, the sheath and the column.
Right.
So our mission today is to move beyond those simple definitions and give you the architectural insights from bridal experts so you know exactly which dress will feel and move the way you want it to.
That's the real trick, isn't it? They both deliver that clean, simple line.
Yeah.
But one is all about tailored sophistication. The other is like pure, effortless drape.
Exactly.
So today we're going to clearly distinguish the curved skimming sheath from the straight line column, and then break down how fabric and accessories can turn either one into a masterpiece.
Let's start with the sheath silhouette, which is truly the foundation of, I'd say, modern tailored elegance.
So when we talk about a sheath gown, what are the non-negotiable characteristics? Because the source material is very clear that this is a silhouette that has to fit the body.
Absolutely. The sheath is defined by a fitted bodice, so that means it's tailored through the bust and waist, and that's paired with a skirt that just flows straight down.
Okay.
Crucially, it follows the body's natural lines. It's designed to skim the waist and hips, not restrict them. Think tailored precision. And here's a critical detail that often separates it from a true column. The sheath skirt might have a subtle, gentle flare at the bottom.
Wait a minute. If the skirt has a flare, doesn't that risk turning it into like a mini A-line or a mild trumpet? How subtle are we talking structurally?
That's a great question, and it really gets into the nuance of it. An A-line starts shaping from the waist, maximizing volume outward.
Right, from the get-go.
Exactly. The sheath keeps its fitted line past the hips, and only then introduces a tiny bit of ease or flare, maybe below the knee. And that subtle flare is functional. It's what allows for that effortless movement.
So it stops the gown from feeling like a tight, hobbling second skin.
Precisely, which is often the problem with those much tighter mermaid or trumpet styles.
So the sheath is all about achieving emphasis and elongation, but without sacrificing the ability to actually walk or dance.
You've got it. It flatters by following the curve, not by compressing it. That's why it's such a top choice for a chic modern bride. Visually, it does a brilliant job emphasizing an hourglass figure.
And because it keeps that long vertical line, I imagine it's fantastic for elongating a petite frame.
It is, and because it skims and doesn't hug tightly, it's a very safe and flattering option for pair or athletic body types as well.
That versatility really explains why it's so popular. Now let's talk about materials. The sources mention crepe, satin, and lace. What does fabric choice do to the overall effect here?
Well, the fabric is really the hero in a minimalist gown. For the sheath, a matte crepe is, I'd say, the ultimate minimalist choice. It gives you structure without shine, so you get those razor-sharp, clean lines.
Okay, very architectural.
Yes. Satin, on the other hand, especially a heavier Mikado or silk satin, delivers maximum sophistication and drama because of its sheen and how it catches the light. Lace, of course, is the texture player.
And what's interesting as we move into customization is that the simplicity of that skirt line really allows the bodice to become the main event.
It does. It completely frees up the design. For brides who absolutely refuse the volume of an A-line but still want incredible detail, the sheath is, the perfect choice. Since the skirt is so manageable, designers can get really creative up top.
And when you look at the range of options, it's almost overwhelming. Strapless, tank, spaghetti straps.
Oh, completely. The options are just enormous. You can choose from cap sleeves, long sleeves, or the increasingly popular detachable sleeves for that two-in-one look.
Right. And necklines.
The variety is vast. We're talking square, scoop, a classic V-neck, high halter, or even a deeply plunging neckline. You have total freedom to define your coverage.
It sounds like the design challenge moves from shaping the skirt to making sure the bodice is perfectly supported. With all those options, especially strapless or plunging, structure becomes a huge factor.
It raises a critical question for the fitting process, absolutely. Because the sheath is inherently softer than a huge ball gown, if you need bust support, and most brides do, you have to look for styles that specifically incorporate internal structure.
What does that mean exactly, like boning?
That means boning, a built-in corset, or structured cups. If you pick a style without that internal architecture, you are completely reliant on your foundation garments.
And that brings up undergarments. Since this silhouette is designed to skim the body so closely, every single line matters. This isn't just about shaping, it's about creating a smooth foundation.
Absolutely. The structure starts from the inside out. If the sheath is the canvas, the right undergarments are, the stretcher bars holding it taut.
And designers are using specific details to enhance the look too, right, for different body types.
Yes, for instance, for plus-size dresses, features like ruching, that gentle gathering of fabric, or a cat-eye neckline, which gives a lovely lift, or even side cutouts can be really effective.
I love that specific architectural advice. And we noted earlier the sheath works well for pear shapes. How exactly do designers use the bodice to maximize that?
It's a trick to target the eye. If you put intricate details on the bodice or choose these long, elaborate sleeves, you are successfully drawing the viewer's eye upward and keeping it there.
And that maximizes the vertical flow of the gown.
Exactly. It enhances the slimming, elongating effect. It's all about visual direction.
Okay, so the sheath is tailored, often has internal structure, and skims the body following the curves. That brings us to the great confusion. The column silhouette. We need to settle this. Are they the same thing?
They look so similar on the hanger, but the answer is a definitive no. They represent two fundamentally different approaches to achieving that minimalist line.
Well, let's pull the definition apart then. If the sheath skims, what is the column doing?
A column dress, just like the name says, is designed to be a long, straight line. It falls from the bust or the shoulder straight down to the floor. Its main goal is minimal to no shaping through the body.
So if the sheath uses darts and seems to, acknowledge the curves, the column actively tries to minimize all of that for a totally fluid line.
Exactly. The key distinction is in the fit philosophy and the structure. A column is built with very little, if any, internal structure. It relies almost entirely on the fabric's drape.
A much more relaxed line.
Right. Where the sheath emphasizes the waist and hips, the column actively avoids hugging them. It's a softer look, and it's often designed to be easier to walk in.
That difference is subtle but massive in how the dress must feel and drape. So if you're looking for a relaxed, easy feel, the column sounds like the winner. But is there a downside to that lack of structure?
There can be, and this is a crucial insight for anyone trying the style on. While the column is fantastic for lengthening the silhouette, that lack of a defined waist can sometimes backfire.
Oh.
If the fabric is too thin, or if it catches or clings in the wrong way, say across the hips or the stomach, it can potentially make the wearer look wider simply because there's no defined waist to break up that straight line.
So the very feature that makes it relaxed, the lack of shaping, is also its biggest challenge. It sounds like fabric choice is even more critical here than with the sheath.
It absolutely is. You need a fabric that drapes beautifully but has enough weight or body to it to prevent any unwanted clinging. That's why the column is just perfect for modern, minimalist aesthetics, intimate ceremonies, or urban weddings. It just screams effortless sophistication.
A great choice for athletic and petite brides, I'd imagine.
An excellent choice because it doesn't add any bulk. The sources mention the Air from Serene Bridal as a classic example.
Okay, so if someone is searching online for a dress like the Air, what visual marker should they look for to know it's a column, not a sheath?
Look for the unbroken line. A true column will have minimal seaming and no discernible shaping at the waist or high hip. It should just look like a piece of fabric falling straight from the shoulder.
It's fantastic how both of these highly tailored, minimalist styles, the sheath and the column, actually share a major practical benefit for modern weddings.
The destination wedding appeal. That's right. Because they both lack the massive volume and layers of tulle of traditional ball gowns, they are so much easier to transport.
You can just fold them into a garment bag without worrying about crushing heavy structure.
Exactly. And that goes hand in hand with fabric suitability. Lightweight crepe or silk is perfect for warm or tropical climates. A big bonus. You're less likely to feel heavy and hot.
It's all about manageability, both for travel and on the day itself. Let's pivot back to the sheath for a second and look at some new 2026 arrivals. This really shows how the silhouette is just the starting point. I was looking at the locket by Waters Clare, which is full Chantilly lace with detachable sleeves.
Right, that's classic romance layered onto a really tailored fit.
Then you have something like the Maddie Lane Thane, which plays with texture in a super modern way. It mixes a lace top with a clean matte crepe skirt.
The combination of textures is what elevates that piece. It's a great example.
And for just maximum no-fuss modern sophistication, there's the Essence of Australia style D4193, a full satin, clean, strapless look. I mean, comparing those three proves your point. The sheath is the canvas, but the fabric and the details are the artwork.
It shows you can have a minimalist silhouette but still achieve really complex visual interest through textiles alone.
So once you have the foundation, the final step is accessorizing that minimalist canvas. If the dress is clean, does that mean the accessories have to be just as subtle?
Not necessarily. They really depend on the features of the dress itself. Both the column and the sheath are a perfect platform for a cathedral-length veil. That combination clean lines, dramatic length, is the definition of modern glamour.
And there's a simple rule for veil selection, right?
Yes. If you have a plain satin or crepe gown, your veil can be the statement piece. Plain edge, beaded edge, even a lace edge works.
But if the gown itself has intricate detailing, say delicate beading or unique floral lace,
Then you have to match the veil to those details precisely. You don't want two different kinds of lace fighting for attention. The veil should complement, not distract from the gown.
beyond the veil, what else can elevate these streamlined looks?
This is where you bring in the personality. Think beyond the typical bridal options. Sophisticated additions like sheer lace gloves or opera-length gloves can add this massive retro glamour.
Oh, I love that.
A dramatic back bow or maybe a scattered pearl topper adds incredible texture.
And here's a very specific styling detail we saw mentioned. If your dress features a high slit, which is often added to make walking easier, then you absolutely must have an amazing pair of shoes on display.
It turns the accessory choice into a moment. If the dress is simple, the shoes can be spectacular.
That's the ultimate finishing touch. I think the biggest piece of advice we can give you, the listener, is to really learn your personal style by trying on both silhouettes and different fabrics. Don't let the simplicity scare you.
Not at all. A plain sheath or column dress is the perfect canvas for self-expression. It lets you introduce your unique twist through all the surrounding elements. Your accessories, your flowers, the bridesmaid dresses.
And maybe most importantly, the tuxedo or suit color choices for your partner. You really control the entire visual palette.
Don't rush the process, and remember that expert stylists are there to help you navigate those nuances, whether it's finding the right internal structure or the perfect veil.
So what does this all mean? We've walked away today with some crucial structural knowledge. We know the sheath is tailored, often needs internal support, and skims the curves. And the column is a straight, structure-free line, relying purely on fabric drape for an effortless, minimal look.
And we know the massive customization potential that fabrics, sleeves, and necklines unlock for both.
Right.
These two silhouettes, I think, represent a powerful, sophisticated choice for the modern bride. They offer manageability, especially with support if you seek it with boning and just ease of movement. They are truly the intelligent choice for elevated simplicity.
You know, since the source notes that the plain dress is the perfect canvas for unique twists, including tuxedo or suit color choices, let's leave you with this final thought. If the dress is the ultimate minimalist canvas, how does the simplicity of the sheath or column fundamentally change the role of the partner's attire?
Oh, that's a great point.
Does the lack of bulk or ornamentation in the gown actually force the entire wedding aesthetic, the bride and partner together, to integrate more complex, unexpected color or texture pairings to achieve that visual balance and elevated style?
It absolutely forces all the surrounding visual elements to step up their game. It really asks the partner's look to contribute significant texture, contrast, or color, creating an integrated look that is far more elevated than just two independent outfits.
It's a much more cohesive vision.
It is something to really explore as you craft your entire wedding day visual.
A gorgeous and sophisticated challenge to end on. We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.